Hi, welcome to another episode of Girl, Come Sit With Me. Y'all, I am live here at the Poetry Potluck in Little Haiti Cultural Center. Y'all, it's been a vibe this entire day. If you're new to this, I am your host, Dom. Yes, I host this podcast, but I'm also a psych professor. This space is here for us to understand the power of vulnerability. So let's get into it with my special guest. May you introduce yourself?
Yes, I go by the name of Stevenson.
Hi, Stevenson. So how can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Stevenson Gene underscore or at underscore Wasole underscore, which is Wasole is my artist name. Yeah, because I do music as well. So yeah.
So you just gonna keep adding, y'all. He keeps adding to the greatness. Acting, modeling.
Acting, modeling, music.
And you're an artist, so you sing or you rap?
Sing, mainly sing. Sing and rap, but I think I'm more of a singer than a rapper. I'll say that.
And I see, I can do that. I can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, today, while we're here, my main focus today is based on community, right?
Yes.
So, what is giving you a sense of community when you're here in Miami?
When I'm here in Miami, I think coming to events like this and just feeling the presence of blackness, just the beauty of blackness, and seeing how we come together. And, I think for me, that's what community is. You know, just having different people that we can rely on. You know, people that look like us, that's creating different things that we can get involved in. And this is why, like, my first time being here, but I'm definitely gonna be back for sure. You know,
I'm glad you came. It's so many things going.
Might be the wrong time for the interview.
Okay, well, maybe this man. Oh, like the SMR. Hey, let's see if it works. Let me go whisper this on. Hi, you are now tuned in to Girl, Come Sit. Why does my whisper sound so?
No. Let's. You know what? How about we cut? Let's cut it. And then, like, after when we can do it, we'll do the interview. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. So don't go.
We'll be back. You know, that was the first take. That was the warm up. And right now we're whispering.
We are whispering, y'all, like, right now. Just a whisper.
Because the event just started, you know.
And we're just hoping that this whisper works.
But this is what it is. You know, this is live. You guys are getting the live reactions right now.
Exactly. So, at least you know what really happens behind the scenes.
Yes, it's natural, you know.
Hey, what if they could hear this the best compared to what we recorded?
That is a great
That would be insane in post-op. Okay.
Let's get it.
So as we focus on community, especially at events like right now at the Poetry Potluck, you were saying how just to be around people who look like you, you know, just being around others where we can see ourselves in them.
Yeah.
Or at least see ourselves in their potential or sometimes even who they are.
Facts, definitely.
Yeah, I like when you said that. That was great.
Yeah.
But, you know, in order for us to have a good community, we have to make sure we're able to be a good member of that community.
Of course.
So what are things that you feel as though you give personally as a friend or as someone in a relationship or as someone in all these different facets of your life? How do you exemplify the community that you want?
I think I do that by the art that I create.
Okay.
You know, so the art that I create in modeling, the art that I create in film, and even in music as well. Just making sure that it's eccentric and making sure that it's rooted into that it's purposeful. You know, that it's purposeful and like people can get inspired by it, and and also just like creating different things that people are able to have conversations about.
Yeah.
You know, because especially nowadays, like I feel like a lot of people are creating, but they're not creating for a purpose. You know, and I feel like with me, even with modeling as well, like at first it was just doing it just for fun, but then I started to realize, like, what if I create something and just drop it on Juneteenth, for example? You know, just like drop it for us because it's when it's for us and it's by us. You know, and even like the roads that I pick when it comes to acting, like it has to mean something to me. It has to be like it has to speak to me in a way. Like it has to be speak to me as a black man and as a creative in general.
Make
so
you feel something.
Yeah. So the way that I've been able to serve and to be part of different communities is by sharing my art and just like creating different conversations through the art. So
that's impactful because transparency moment, right?
Yeah, go ahead. This is no filter here.
Okay. So transparency moment. I have always been very creative, naturally very creative.
That's dope.
And when I was younger, I started doing poetry in elementary school.
Nice.
And I just stuck with it.
So you was born a poet.
Pretty much.
You were born a poet.
I used to make my granny sit there and listen to me read her my poems that I wrote.
That's nice.
Or recite random poems. I used to like Langston Hughes. Like, well, son, hey, I am the darker brother. Like, do you hear this? I'm like a little girl. Like, Mom, look at this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So I stopped, and I haven't been on a stage in about 12 years.
Wow.
And I just got back on stage a week ago, and I didn't have the poem memorized because I just wrote it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it off. And
how is that? I was, after 12 years, like
I was nervous. I would always turn people down when they'll ask me to share. Mind you, I got a whole poetry book and everything. I don't tell nobody nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you're a poet, so and you're creative in general. So like you're always creating, So even though when you don't share it with the world, but you're sharing it with yourself and like just staying. I'm not sure if I'm.
You're getting it right. You're hitting the nail on the head.
So I'm sure like you're still writing and you still,
Yes, I never stopped writing. I just never shared it. Poetry has always been, or not write anything. It has always been like my diary.
Wow.
So performing it and trying to remember the words and, allowing myself to get to that place of where I was, even though I'm no longer there, even if it's been 10 minutes later.
Wow.
I may write something in a moment of passion where I'm just, maybe I'm flustered. Maybe I'm feeling heart palpitations. But I know if I start writing, I just let whatever words come to me flow out.
Just let it flow.
I know I'm going to feel better.
Yeah.
So I would just do that. And then 5 minutes later, once the anxiety is past, everything I wrote is past, I'm good.
Yeah. It's more of a release in a way. It's
yes.
therapy,
Exactly. Yes. And it's funny because I'm a psychology professor.
Nice.
Everything has to do with mental health.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's essential. Mental health is definitely essential for sure.
It is.
Yeah, I actually just did a film about that in Haiti.
Come on, IoT.
Yeah. Just did a film about that mental health, and I try to tap into mental health and depression and different things that I feel like a lot of us are not talking about when it comes to in the Black community and in the Caribbean community and just in general, because I feel like they're different battles that we're fighting just alone, but I feel like the more of us that talk about it and the more of us that'll be able to be more open about it and and like really seek help and go to therapy and especially like the stigma about Black men that's not going to therapy and there's
speak on it. Okay.
we always feel the need to be like just extra masculine and like we can't cry and like all these different things and
like you don't feel all the emotions that women feel. You go through all of us as a people go through all these emotions. But sometimes one group of us is kind of regarded as okay. It's okay to do that. But just like you said, like why do I have to be this hyper masculine guy? Why do I have to for what?
Facts. And for me, just growing up, like I kind of fell into that, just like growing up, I just felt the need to, like you do different things, like with this, like into music, and you like listening to rap all the time, and like you feel the need to just always be like this hard. And then you realize, like, as you grow up, you start dealing with different things where life hits you, and then you don't know how to deal with it. So now, I feel like that the kind of it's kind of the reason why I feel like we have a lot of like Black on Black violence in a way. It's like a lot of Black men being insecure. Go ahead and check that little coconut real quick. You know what I mean? Go ahead and Go ahead and take a sip of that. You know what I mean?
I promise you, I thought I could hide inconspicuously. I was like, oh, he's talking a great talk right now.
Come on. Sometimes, you know, when the talk is good, you just gotta sip on the coconut real quick. You feel me? It's only right. It's only right. You feel me? Get the natural water in, you know? Fun fact, you know, coconut water is like way healthier than like regular water. I just learned that recently. Yeah.
But you know, so there is a limit to it. Just how there's a limit for everything.
For sure.
There's a limit to that too, because you can get messed up with the potassium.
Yeah, definitely.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I used to always say I didn't like coconut. Random story.
Really?
Always felt like I didn't like coconuts. I don't know, somebody, why are we drinking out of the giant thing? As a kid, I was like, I don't like this. I'm allergic.
Yeah.
So what I started doing was I would fake it and be like, ooh, so yummy. I wasn't drinking none of it. Terrible. So fast forward to the point of this story.
Yeah.
I did that and never tasted. I always told people I didn't like it. Fast forward maybe 2 months ago, I tried the doggone coconut water. Touched my soul, and I went on a binge of drinking it every day.
Wow.
For weeks. To a point where my mom was like, hey, don't make me have to go check your potassium levels.
You gotta slow down. You gotta slow down. Yeah. Yes. Too much of everything is never good.
Exactly. So then I had to call my dietitian. So I was like, Ash, that's the one who owns the nonprofit Eat Well Exchange.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I had to
That's
call
your sister?
her.
That's your sister?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Wow, it's a small world. I thought you guys just met.
Oh no.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah.
That's so dope, man.
And I had to call her and was like, hey, my mom says this is too much potential. She's like, technically your mom is right. There is a limit to it. You can drink it every day, just not a gallon of it every day.
Wow.
And then once I try something and I love it, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll probably do it until I gorge myself out for a while, and then I'll chill.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Do you have a food that's like that for you then?
I think Haitian food.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
give me.
Can we talk about it? You know, like, come on. You know, like, do you like Haitian food?
I am Haitian.
Yeah, the reaction. Oh, see, from the reaction you had, like, I already know.
Yes, listen.
It was like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
So my papa, well, my grandfather,
Yeah.
he is Bahamian and Haitian.
Wow, nice.
Yes. Yeah. So all of that culture just kind of trickled down to like all of us. Wow. So it's beautiful because you have all this culture and you feel like you belong.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know that I was Haitian until elementary school. Didn't even realize. So, and it was when I moved to Broward. So you know how Broward is a little different from Miami. Right. No offense, we love all them South.
It's two different spots.
It's a little different.
Very, very different.
Yeah, definitely different.
Yeah.
So we ended up moving to Miramar, and I started going to school. Well, you know, you use the fake address or whatever. So you go to school in the other county, use your auntie address or something.
Yep. I did it too.
Yep. I don't feel bad now. Yeah. So I did that, ended up going there, and I noticed it's like white people in the class, and it was black kids, but some of the black kids were picking on the other ones for being dark.
Yeah.
Y'all, this is the lightest I've ever been in my life. The lightest color skin I've ever been. Yeah. As a little girl, I was probably like the color of your pants. Okay? Yeah. And I loved it, loved being chocolate. I get there, they're picking on, you know, the dark skinned girls. And I was like, okay. This is it's different. Yep, different. And then I was like, wait now. Some girls in the class, I heard her parents speak, and they were speaking Creole. And I was like, because I would never hear like thing, or back then it was you get picked on if you're Haitian.
Yeah, facts.
You get picked on.
Yeah, even like just like they used to have like field day, where they would like be Haitians on some days. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and see, it used to be things like that at other schools too. It's almost like it was.
It was crazy.
It was crazy then, and I didn't even realize I was Asian because you know you grow up you eat these foods, you hear these accents,
Yeah.
you pick up on some of these accents, whether you
Yeah.
want to or not,
Yeah.
and you're so engulfed into it, you don't even think. And if everyone in the neighborhood is like that, I was in
Yeah.
North Miami,
Oh,
Zoe City.
you was in Port-au-Prince too.
Like,
You know,
you gonna
you was in
hear.
Haiti. You was in Haiti for sure. You know,
That's
you
what
were
I'm
in Haiti for
saying.
sure.
Like, you're going to be in these areas, and when everyone looks like you,
Yeah.
they're educated. Everybody got a different accent.
Mhm.
You don't think anything.
Yeah.
You go to a different spot, and you're like, I never hear anything over here. And then finally, I was like, hey, you're Haitian.
Right.
Like,
These are my people. Yeah.
I was like, these my peoples. And she
Yeah.
was like, yeah, we're Haitian. Are you Haitian? And I was like, no, but my people sound like your peoples. And it was like, so you Haitian?
You Haitian, right?
And I'm like,
she probably ain't want to
am
admit
I
it.
Haitian? Yeah. And I looked around. I said,
Because a lot of people were like, they were ashamed of admitting it. You know what I mean?
now,
Like,
see, yes.
Yeah.
So my papa, he was the first black president at a bank in Miami.
wow.
Yes. And it was a point in time where technically it's still like that to this day, but we sold some of the properties.
Yeah.
But in the city, it used to be like a block where it was nothing but Dorset on the whole block.
Yeah.
When I tell you, like, it was like that, but you know, back then you don't get. It's already tough being a black man.
Yeah.
It's already tough, you know. So imagine during that time period, way back in the day, nobody wants to be called anything but black.
Facts.
But when you get called black, you're still getting treated like crap.
Yeah, right. So imagine getting discriminated against because you're Haitian and black as well. So it's like,
it's a double whammy,
right,
unfortunately.
it's a double discrimination. You know.
So at that time, what they say, oh, nothing. They don't say we from Haiti. We just but we sure keep eating the food.
Yeah,
They
right.
don't say, you know, it's not until my generation where it's like, hey, are we Haitian for real? Sailors, what part of it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, we Bahamian too. What part?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, you know, you get to now, everyone's dancing compa right now. Everyone's eating Haitian food. TikTok, compa is going crazy. You know, everybody want to be a Zoe right now.
I went to a brunch, and you probably gonna know as soon as I say it. So they played one song. All I heard is oh, oh. And I'm looking around.
I know exactly what song that is.
Yes.
Yeah. As soon as it dropped,
imagine having such a rich history, right?
Yeah.
You saw how proud I was to say about my papa.
Yeah.
And how his brother was one of the black psychology professors at FIU.
Wow.
When they started
actually went to FIU program. As well.
See what?
Yeah. Small world.
Wait, how did you like it?
It was nice. It was dope. I actually studied I studied like hospitality there.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So
that's suiting for what you do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're.
You know, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You know? I mean, in a way.
So it's you naturally.
I wish I was like majoring in like theater, like film, but you know, just like growing up in a Caribbean household, you know, like
that's not a real job. It's not a career to them.
It's not. No, to them, it's more of a. It's like, okay, what are you doing? You a vagabond. You know what I mean?
Hey, when they say vagabond, you're like, oh no, this is. I'm sorry.
What are you doing? Like, yo, acting. You want to be an actor? What you want to do? Like, oh, you doing music now? Like, what?
The fact that
this is why, like, I sent you to school for it, and I'm like, yo, you don't get it. Like, I don't want to be like you looking at Denzel, you looking at the great actors,
and you like them. They got pictures on the wall. Yeah. And you're like, you can't see someone that came from you finna be right on that wall beside them.
Right, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like for me, it took a minute for them to like realize what I really wanted to do, you know? Because at first it used to be like, for them it was like, okay, you're not gonna be no actor. Like you're gonna go to school and be a doctor and be a lawyer. And then I came home and I was like, fine, turn the TV on real quick. They see me in the Marvel show. And then this is when they're like, oh wow, you're on Daredevil. Oh my God, like I been knew that you were gonna be a great actor.
And I'm just like, you like, is that's not what you said? Because when I told you was fussing.
Right.
You was
like,
fussing.
Okay, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Like, like you was the main one that's telling me like I gotta be a lawyer, I gotta be an engineer. But now, because you see me in the Marvel show, then
then it's like
it makes you realize
then like that's my son.
Right? It's gonna proud. Like our parents be our biggest haters. Like
hey, they gonna tell you almost too much of the truth.
Right. What? They go, you feel me?
Yeah, no.
But now, like they see the vision. They definitely see the vision, and they definitely supporting his full hand. And they proud. You feel me? 'Cause I'm the first one in my family to accomplish like these things that I'm accomplishing now.
That's beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And all it takes, something that I like about being the first, there has to be others behind you. You already know the other numbers are gonna come.
You're opening doors, like
So
and breaking generational curses, Yeah.
That's impactful.
Yeah, indeed.
That's real though. I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On being that. Sure. I know heavy. What is it? Heavy is the heel. Or something.
Heavy is the crown.
Yes, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Yes. So I know that aspect of it, but I'm glad that it seems as though you listen to it.
Yeah.
And you don't resent it.
For sure. Yeah. It's tough.
And you focus on the goodness.
It's tough.
Even
but,
though that gotta be hard.
Of course, just being the first one to break certain generational curses, like in your family, and just being the first one that to reach a certain level. I feel like you're gonna face different obstacles that others haven't faced before. A lot of people won't understand the journey that you're on, but you have to see the vision for you to for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish. If you can see it, then nobody else is gonna see it for you. So that's how I look at it. So I was able to get to where I am now. So
I love that. That's dope.
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you feel like on your end, your parents are proud of you now, and you think of that? Do you think that there's a way for all of us to get to a point where you see how you made your parents proud? You probably you probably inspire other people. But what if those that you inspire accomplish the same thing as you? Imagine the legacy of that.
Yeah, just as a whole, just as a culture, it's just. I mean, for me, that's one of my goals. To be honest, just one of my goals for us to get more into the arts. Get more into the arts because I feel like the arts, there's a level of freedom that we have with the arts. There's a level of freedom that we have with the arts that we don't have with any other careers really, because as an artist when you're creating, you have the freedom to, whether it's film or whether it's music or whether it's just painting or whether it's psychology, or whether, like it's a form of art as well. A lot of people don't see it as that, but for you, you're an artist as well. Like I feel like a lot of when people mention like the word artist, they always say they only see musicians as artists.
Hey, that's it. And you're like, but hey, y'all don't. Okay.
I feel like the chef is an artist because the chef is creating something like
everything is
a masterpiece. You know what I mean? Like
everything is art.
Yeah. What we're doing right now, that's art.
That's art.
Yeah, but this is just another form of art form. So yeah. So I think for me, like more of us, more Caribbean folks, more Haitians, and more of us is like getting into the arts and being able to express ourselves the best way that we can. I mean, even if someone is a doctor, like that's a form of art. A surgery is an art.
What it really is. Even think about it.
Because we're saving lives.
Exactly, and trying to figure out. Sorry about that. Trying to figure out all the diagnosis and all that.
Yeah. So I feel like once we start seeing that, once we start tapping into that and realize like like with art we can like really heal and we can really change lives. Then
we really can.
Then for me, more doors will be open for us, and the world will see us the way we're supposed to be seen. So
that part, and also for us to be able to be appreciative, even if the world can't see us how we should be seen.
Yes. Yeah. We might have to come back for another episode, man.
You will.
Yeah. Like we might have to do that for sure. I'm down to do it. Like I'm pull up on the podcast, and
I would love
I feel like
it.
there's so much for us to cover and talk about.
I think so.
For sure.
And I record right in Miami Gardens at Coast Space.
Nice.
And it's black owned.
Oh,
What?
beautiful. Even better, you know.
It's black on.
And it's black on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, shout out to Joy.
Yeah.
We love y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I record. It's a vibe. You never know who you're gonna see in there. Fair warning.
Yeah.
It may be politicians. It may be artists.
Nice.
It may be doctors, lawyers.
Nice.
You think of it, or you can name it. They've probably been.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I know. One day, the mom from that show. So I'm great with faces, but trash with names. Harriet Winslow from Family Matters.
Oh, yeah. I actually met her. At Flomo.
What?
Yeah, I met her at Flomo. Yeah. She I think she came. She spoke to us like the drama program. The kids that was in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's impactful. They gonna remember that for the rest of their lives.
Facts, definitely.
That's
sure.
real. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, no. You never know who you're gonna see there, but still gives privacy, which is great.
Yeah.
And they have a whole podcast.
Nice. Beautiful. Then we can definitely finish this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a part 2.
We definitely have to have a part 2.
Okay? Yeah, because I feel like there's so much. I feel like there's so many things that have like so many layers that we can cover. You know, so
I like that, and I also
and that's another reason why. So, yeah.
For real. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yes, that would be dope.
For sure. Part 2 coming soon.
Part 2 coming soon. Thank you for tuning in to Girl. Come sit with me.
Yeah.